Good morning, guys, or well, good morning to me at least. Today I have decided I'm going to go ahead and get the brakes done and try to figure out the electrical. So lately when you start it, it takes like forever for it to start, and it seems like it's like maybe the starter isn't getting enough voltage. I know it's a good starter, I know it's a good alternator, and I know I got a good battery. So process of elimination has to mean that it's either bad wiring or just maybe the battery wiring has just not been good. Maybe it's just not set up right like it needs to be. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and follow in and just pull everything out, redo it. Luckily my buddies here at the shop, they have plenty of wiring. They're going to try to help me wire it up a little bit and get it situated for new wiring. But we're going to go ahead and knock out the brakes because I borrowed a power bleeder from a friend of mine. Tired of not being able to have brakes. Like whenever you do punch on the pedal, step on the pedal. Whenever you step on the pedal, it takes a while for it to finally catch, and when it finally catches, it stays at that point, but it's just so spongy. But Texas Evo meet, guys, that video has been doing amazing. Even the idle video has been doing amazing. So thank you all so much for all the love, for all the support. I really appreciate you guys. Like, we're almost to 200 subscribers. Like, yes, we're so close to 200 subscribers. So thank you all so much for all the help, all the support, everything so far. So I will, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull all this stuff out and get ready to start laying out the lines. Just take everything off and make sure we got plenty of room to do all this.
It went down? Yes. Oh, that's up to you. You can get the same effect as, like, say, like a pair of 15s or even a bigger set of 12s.
No, what you mean before? You had mentioned, you said I didn't have basic before. Because I guess
I think that's basic. Let's show you over here.
I seen the vision you said, yeah. Oh man, I can't wait to change this all out. All right, well, we got everything minus popping this apart done, which should be just like this. But there we go. Oop, there we go. Now we can upgrade this harness Get over here. Some harness. This harness right here. Doo, 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 doo. So I'm just kind of processing and taking all this apart so I can figure out exactly what, well, my buddy Everett here is going to try to tell me what I need to do or what I need to lay out for replacing each of these with upgrades, because we're going to go from the factory to the next gauge up, or next 2 gauge sizes up. So my job is to break this down so it makes it easier for him. Yeah, a lot of this, y'all aren't seeing it, but a lot of this line is like frayed or it's like corroded in places. So like this is definitely needed. Considering this is a 2003 car, this engine harness is not the worst that I've ever seen, but it's not the best. What gauge are we going to? Which gauge you say we're going from on this?
We're just gonna run 4 all the way through that one. 4 for the starter, 4 for the alternator. It's just not loving it. It's about 4 now.
So we went ahead and completely replacing the starter wire from the top. So Everett has made the exact bend for replacement in, so we're going to up it on the size. So I'm just going to shoot a couple of videos of us installing it. If not, this is just going to be a lengthy video. I mean, I'm sure y'all are not too interested in seeing us do much of just random wiring shit, so I'm just going to shoot like videos of us just putting it pretty much together, cutting it, and make a little montage. So y'all can see the line hanging out right here. So we decided, instead of running it up against the side of the block with the turbo, we're going to run it. It runs perfectly into the frame and is with the radiator harness coming out the radiator harness right here, and we're going to try to go over to the battery with it.
Look at this little. You see that? That's all your positives. Your negative is just this. All right.
Ah.
And then this I'm tucking has a second negative.
Raining?
Yeah. This negative goes in behind the box, and I'm gonna wrap it all the way. Even though
A big ass red one?
I'm out of black, it won't matter because I'm wrapping it, just like I wrapped those. I won't hear it.
That looks fucking good up there, though.
I need that impact. Can you see that? Can YouTube see that? That's our ground point right there. Right about here.
Look. You have black.
I know how you feel about it. You mother god dang Trey.
What?
I didn't even squeeze the impact all the way and I broke that bolt off.
What?
And that's how you turn a 10-minute project into a 2-hour one. Let's go. Quality. Oh, it's a grade 4 bolt. Nice. We got the bolt out. Definitely Trey's fault. I didn't even know they made bolts out of plastic in that size. So, back in the clear.
All right, well, we have everything done. Everything's wired up. So hopefully we're going to try to give it a start and see if it'll actually start right off the bat or if it makes it easier to fire right off the bat. Because before it was barely starting. So hopefully, I got to plug my GoPro up. So hopefully this is a fix for the issue we're having.
It starts every time. I mean, that's one thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's starting easier than it did before. Way easier than it did before. Before, it was like,
That battery probably needs to get charged up one good time on the car.
All right, so as y'all saw, we got everything together. We started it. It actually starts and runs real well now. What we ended up doing and finding out is the battery, thanks to Everett's help, everything got done that way. Everything's wired up and done, but the battery was one of the main issues for us. How did you put it? The cranking amps isn't just enough for it?
It's starting to go dead.
Okay, it's starting to go dead. So, a good buddy of ours had 3 of these lithium batteries that are the same size sitting next door. So, just grab one, slap one in. I'm going to pay him next week for it. So, we will have a new battery for the car. Not very old. They're like 6 months old. And she starts almost immediately with no issues. So, I'm going to show you guys just how quick and easy it starts. I'm not going to start it very long because I don't want to smoke out Mr. Everett. So, I'm going to show you guys just how easy it starts now that it's actually got a good battery. And clutch in. And boom. So, I'm not going to run that very long. But that's how easy it starts. And before it was crank, 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 half start, let off, crank again, fire, run a little bit for a little while, have issues. Now, thankfully, starts right up, no issues, but we still got a lot to do. But, I keep saying but, we got the battery in, It is all wired up. It looks great. He did an amazing job on it. Completely redid every single positive and negative minus the one from the top to the intake manifold, which doesn't really matter, I guess. But I said but. I can't but.
No, you're doing great.
You don't think the battery, the one from the top to the manifold matters that much?
Not really.
Okay, I didn't think it mattered that much.
That's what I want to do for aesthetics.
Yeah, for aesthetics, we'll eventually do something like that, but the only one we left alone is the one that's in the back right here. I went ahead and took the fuel rail off and tucked in the harness behind the fuel rail, so now it's actually tucked in, cleaned up, and the only thing you can actually see is that now. And then all of the positive is wired in backwards, or I ran the alternator, not the alternator, we had the starter run straight over to the radiator, and underneath the radiator is the one of the harness wires that goes across. Ran in, loomed it together, ran it over to here, and it's underneath. So now, oh, no, he might actually be redoing it. Everything's all hooked back up, so that he might be redoing that. So he's just gonna redo it. He said aesthetics needs to be done. What? I'm gonna start on the brakes. We got power bleeder, cap for it. I got the tool over here on the other side of the car. I'm gonna lift it up, get bled. Hopefully have some brakes finally on this thing besides the crappy spongy brakes we have currently. So let's get started on it. All right, guys, so I ended up back up here the next day. So yesterday, whenever I was bleeding the brakes, I ended up being up here another like 3.5, 4 hours just bleeding the brakes to find out that my left rear was leaking. So upon tightening it up, started stripping stuff out, and just a long story short, we ended up having to replace the flare. Then I had to actually get a flaring kit. Or the flaring tool to redo everything. So luckily enough, if you ever need one for the brake lines, that tool or that part number and this flaring kit number, they sell that too. It's like 30 bucks. This is like, like $5. So these together will fix your problem if you're having like a leaking problem on your rears, because mine, unfortunately, when the shop redid mine, they didn't flare them right. So I'm just going to show you guys where I redid it real quick, and then I'm going to pull it out of here and go a little drive around the block. So this right here was leaking real bad. So just completely replaced this. Placed that, reflared it, screwed it back in, and it's not leaking anymore. So let's get the wheels back on and take it around from the block. See if the brakes actually work. All right, guys, well, let's get her pulled out. Oh God, she lost power for some reason. Well, she dies for no reason, but she stops nonetheless. not bad. Not bad at all. Definitely needs a little bit more tweaking on some stuff. I think the brake or the clutch needs to be bled again. Still need to get a blow off valve, but nonetheless, we drove it around. I drove it around actually 3 times. I actually forgot to record, but she drives. So, yes. Alrighty, guys. It's been a long 2 days. Way longer than it should have been. Sweaty, nasty. But we got to drive her. This is the second or third time we get to drive her around like that, and it's just, I can't believe that we have gotten this far with the car and that we've had a couple hiccups here and there on it. So hopefully things keep going well, and I'm glad that, you know, thanks to Everett up here and Mr. Pancake for helping me out with the battery, Mr. Everett for helping me out with all the wiring for the car. The dude Everett pushed me to finish the car because I was just gonna push it off to the side and mess with it in a few weeks, but a couple extra hours and was able to actually fix that brake line and get it situated, and now she has brakes. She's still a little squishy, but I mean, it didn't even, it would go all the way to the floor before, and now it actually gets firm after a little bit. It's a squishy a tiny bit, but it's like 10 times better than it was. I think I need to bleed the clutch again because it feels like it's not doing what it's supposed to when I'm putting the clutch in. Definitely don't want to tear up that freaking awesome clutch I got. So that being said, though, I'm calling it on this one. It's been a heck of a day, just today alone, even yesterday. Hell of a lot of stuff done yesterday and today. But thank you guys all so much for watching. If you guys haven't done it yet, like, subscribe, turn on that bell, and share. We're almost at 200 subscribers, and it's because you guys. So thank you all so much for continuing to watch, and here's to hopefully 200 subscribers pretty soon, and then hopefully we'll just keep doubling up and then start getting into some bigger builds and doing other stuff. But for now, we're just going to keep building this Project Sway Evo 8 and keep on enjoying it. So thank you all so much for watching.